Final request. My dear viewers, the giver, provider, helper, dispeller of harm and bestower upon the poor are all attributes and descriptions of our Creator. But how sad it is that people took Allah's attributes and used them for their favorite personalities. And then, people started worshipping them. Allah said, "You worship none besides Him except names that you and your forefathers have made up, for which Allah has not sent down any authority. All power belongs to Allah alone. He has commanded that you should worship none except Him. This is the right religion, but most people do not know." Surah Yusuf 12:40. If this affair is looked at with deep insight, all of the aforementioned attributes are for none but Allah alone. Come, let us understand this by looking at how the Quran sheds light on this issue. The one who listens to our complaints is Allah alone. People call others besides Allah as Ghath Azam, the one who listens to our complaints and helps us, but the Quran clarified that Allah alone is the Ghath Azam. Allah said, "Is He not better, who responds to the distressed when He calls out to Him, and who relieves suffering, and who makes you successors on earth? Is there any deity worthy of worship besides Allah? Little is it that you take heed." Surah Al-Naml 27-62. The one who gives us anything is Allah alone. It is haram to call anyone besides Allah as Daata, the giver, because the only one who gives is Allah alone. Allah said, "Indeed, it is Allah who is the all-provider, owner of power, the mighty." Surah Al-Dhariyat 51-58. The one who provides for us is Allah alone. None besides Allah has the strength to be the Ganj Bash, provider, and give the creation of wealth and provision. Allah said, "But to Allah belong the treasures of the heavens and earth, but the hypocrites do not understand." Surah Al-Munafiqun 63-7. Allah also said, "Allah provides for whom He wills without measure." Surah Al-Imran 3:37. The one who bestows upon the poor is Allah alone. The only one who is the Garib Nawaz, the one who bestows upon the rich and poor, is Allah alone. Allah said, "O people, it is you who are in need of Allah, whereas Allah is the self-sufficient, the praiseworthy." Surah Fatir 35-15. The one who resolves all difficulties is Allah alone. The words, Mushkil Kusha, dispeller of harm, and Hajat Ruwa, fulfiller of needs, can only be used for Allah. Allah said, "If Allah afflicts you with harm, there is none to remove it except Him. If He grants you good, He is most capable of all things. The one who helps us in times of need is Allah alone. The only one who is the Dastagir, helps us in times of happiness, sadness, distress and from every type of problem, is Allah alone." Allah said, "When hardship befalls man, he calls upon us, whether lying on his side, sitting or standing. But when we remove his hardship, he turns a blind eye as though he had never called upon us to remove his hardship." Surah Yunus 10:12. Conclusion. It is proven from the ayat in the Quran that all the attributes mentioned so far are exclusive to Allah alone. But it is quite strange that after coming to learn all that which has been mentioned, people still take Allah's exclusive attributes and give them to the Aliyah and elevate their status to that which only Allah is elevated to. Regarding such people, Allah mentioned the statement of Nah, peace be upon him, in the Quran. What is the matter with you that you do not fear the majesty of Allah? Surah Nah 71-13. To knock some sense into these people, Allah Himself also said, "They have not revered Allah the reverence He deserves. Indeed, Allah is all-powerful, almighty." Surah Hajj 22-74. Remember, whoever we make besides Allah a fulfiller of needs, dispeller of harm, giver, helper, bestower and the one who has control over all affairs, these very people will become our enemy on the Day of Judgment and not benefit us in the least. Allah describes in the Quran the scenes of this event taking place. Who is more astray than one who invokes besides Allah those who will not respond to Him until the day of resurrection, and are in fact unaware of their invocations? When such people are gathered, they will become their enemies and will reject their worship. Surah Al-A'raf 45-56.